Good morning. Last thing I filmed was at the food market last night, yesterday afternoon, something like that. It is almost 24 hours later. We came, let's see, trying to summarize, trying to summarize, everything that we did yesterday. So we got back to the hostel. We worked a little bit. Well, I worked on my computer. Did you work?
I did.
Yeah. Let's say that Amelie worked. For posterity. And I actually got a lot done. I got, like another section rough translated. So that was good. And then we decided to go on a pub crawl. But before that, we had dinner. And there's one little story that I need to tell. Amelie knows what's happening, because I usually keep a pretty, even keel around, in public. Not a whole lot makes me angry. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm a hothead. I'm a cool bean. I don't know what I am. But this kitchen, the hostel that we're staying in, this hostel has 6 floors, lots of guests in and out all the time, but only 6 tables in their kitchen. And they have this policy that you're not supposed to bring your food outside of the kitchen because they have a cafe, and if you eat out there, then you're not eating the cafe food and some bullshit. But, okay, so the kitchen itself, if it were a very small hostel, it would be really well equipped. But for 6 floors of people, 4 stovetops, 2 sinks, 3 fridges, and 6 tables, 24 chairs, that's not enough.
And not even baskets for the food and...
Really poor amenities for guests. Storage options are difficult. And they don't offer free coffee and tea. Whatever, I'm starting to rant. But the big irritant from last night having dinner is we were cooking pasta, something simple.
The whole hostel was in the kitchen.
It felt like the whole hostel was in the kitchen, just making everything. And there's families sitting at the table, and that's fine. But then over in the back corner, there's this table of 4 people who finished eating probably half an hour ago, and they're still just sitting there. They're just occupying space in a very limited seat. It's and I was like, okay, well, in a restaurant, a waiter would come over and be like, hey, do you mind giving us the table back because we have other people that need to be seated? And so I went over and I said, hi, I just wanted to know if you guys are going to be finishing up soon. And they said oh, well, no, not really. And I said okay, well, just because the kitchen is really full and there's a lot of people and we don't have any seats. And the guy who was dominating the conversation was just oh yeah, well, we'll see. And then I got really sassy, and I said something because there's a whole room of couches and chairs that you can go sit in and chat. And he was like, we'll see. If I were a cartoon character, there would have been steam coming out of my head and my ears and probably my nose. I was steamed, actually. So, not a happy camper. And I was kind of ranting about it the whole time. We ended up getting 2 seats, at a table with these nice German girls. We ended up talking to them, and that was all fine. And I'm happy that we talked to them, but I was so mad about that table. And they were still there by the time we finished our meal half an hour later. I'm sure it was out of spite. I'm sure they left 2 minutes after we left. Bitches! Really angry. But then we we went on a pub crawl, and it was Amelie's first pub crawl.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call it a successful pub crawl. I'm not getting into any specifics, but what I will say is the music was really good. That's the kind of music that I like to dance to. Kind of music with words. You can kind of sing along with the songs stuff like that. Not too much electronic, not too much, especially no, dubstep. Because I cannot dance to dubstep. I feel like you need to be on, LSD and, 4 other initial drugs. Anyway, that was last night. We got home sometime between midnight and dawn. And slept in, and now we're showered and clean, and we need food. So, toodaloo. It is now a couple hours later. We had breakfast, which was at lunchtime, and it was decadent, meaning cereal and toast and banana and a cinnamon roll. Yum. And since the weather outside is, let's say, it's not tip-top, we decided we're not really going to try to do anything today. We took a really long time getting ready today, and in fact, this is my, ready at home face. Because we're going out again tonight for New Year's. Today's New Year's. Today is the last day of 2017. And this is what we're doing with it. I'm kidding. But we're just going to go downstairs and get a little bit of work done in the lab, and then I think we're going to make ourselves dinner at the hostel tonight. We have, chicken and potatoes and, zucchini, and then after that, we rave.